gonna put the number 9 back on it and have it like his old car, and he said we'll keep the 38 on the wing car, and so.
So what number, when you were racing karts, did you always carry? Different numbers? Or
38.
38's been your lifetime number.
Yep, yep.
And now you try your grandpa's number and it won for you twice.
Yep, yep.
Mike, we're kind of waiting for you. We're milking
Thank
the
you.
conversation.
Yeah.
But
I'm still.
no, we the non-wing racing is so awesome in my opinion.
Yeah,
man. I mean,
yeah. I enjoy it a lot.
yeah.
I think it leaves
we
it
go.
more up to the driver. With a wing, you know, you get a lot of money into motors and stuff like that, and it's hard to keep up with somebody that's got a big budget. But
Now there's Ted Hall on the left, is your grandpa.
Yep.
And you're well aware of his history, but man,
yeah.
that guy's like
yeah,
the who's who in racing in
Yeah,
Kansas
yeah,
City.
yeah.
I mean, he was Weld's right hand man and built some awesome race cars.
Yep.
I mean, there's one in the Hall of Fame down there at Knoxville that your grandpa built, and then still is an amazing craftsman.
Oh yeah, yep. He there's nothing he can't do. I mean, and he can definitely make a race car go around the track fast.
That was one of the questions I think I was asking you. I think Saturday was was the difference between this race car that he's put together that you're racing now than the ones you were running before? Was somebody else doing the chassis work on that?
Yeah, the white car that we had been running out at Valley was it was owned by Mike Timmerman and Dave Long.
Oh, okay.
But my grandpa still did a lot of the work on the. I mean, he always. I go to him to ask setups, and you know they would come to him and asking him stuff
Yeah.
about the motor and stuff like that. I mean, he was still a really big part of that team.
Yeah.
But I mean,
You know, that was.
Well,
I was curious about the similar topics there.
yeah. Because I was wondering, you know, whether or not, with the history that he's got, whether it was actually something that he had made himself, or a chassis manufacturer made that chassis.
which one?
The yellow one,
Yeah. That's a Triple X.
the Triple X. Now, I'm not familiar with where are they made.
I think they're out of Indiana, aren't they?
No, they're kind of they're like a Maxim like makeup car kind of.
Okay.
But I think I'm not real sure where they're made at.
Okay.
But they're a big brand. They're a big brand, a major brand actually.
Okay. So World of Outlaws guys could be running
yeah.
those.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Now while we're on all this nuts and bolts stuff, it just thought crossed my mind. I really never knew what your motor program is. Where did the motor come from that you had in that car Saturday night?
We bought that motor from Dave Long, the one that I was running in that white car. Yep. But all of my motors, my grandpa does all the maintenance on them.
That's what I thought.
He puts bearings in them.
Yeah.
He does the whole thing.
He does everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
Runs valves, everything.
And I'm super curious because I've spent a lot of time in shops, you know, lettering race cars and watching the family work or the crew work. I'm trying to picture what goes on at your place. I mean, have you learned a lot from your grandpa, or is he quiet about stuff? Does he show you stuff?
No, yeah, he shows me stuff, and I always go down there and try to, you know, do as much as I can down there and stuff. And we've spent a lot of afternoons pulling apart blown up motors. That, you know, I mean that's part of racing. You know, when you're putting out as much horsepower as they're putting out, stuff breaks. I mean,
You gave her heck
Yeah.
Saturday
Well,
night. I mean, it
there was oil
steaming
dripping, there was water.
Yep.
Is that motor okay?
Yeah, it's all right. We're not real sure why it got hot. He thinks the jetting was just a little off, but no. What's funny is after I-70 in the pink car, we had the same type of problem where the oil pan was loose, and then 2 oil lines were leaking. And Paul, he owns the pink car. He says it's my fault. He said he's had that car for a couple of years now.
It's your fault, okay?
He's never had it leak oil. He's never had any problems with it like that. And he's like, you get in the car and everything's leaking, coming loose. And
Well, it's almost kind of humorous at Valley when in Victory
Yeah.
Lane there, and that thing's whistling like a
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and
teapot.
when you were interviewing, I was trying to get you to look at the shoe and see it had oil all
Yeah,
over
you
it, and
did.
ask him about, hey, what's that on your shoe?
You did have
And then,
oil on your shoes.
Yep. Yep.
Oil leak coming inside.
yeah, it was
Yeah,
all
oh,
over.
yeah, it was all over the place. And I always tell people when it's leaking like that, it keeps it from rusting.
Okay.
Yeah, you keep that foot lubed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, your foot wasn't getting hot, was it?
Nah, no, they're leather shoes. You can't feel it there.
Oh, really? Because those things, they look like they're not even as thick as a tennis shoe.
Yeah, they're
Actually.
pretty sealed up though. And the only problem you get is when you get a real bad oil leak like that, your foot starts getting slippery on the
Slippery
pedal.
on the pedal.
Yeah.
Well, is that where that loop comes in handy, where you can lift back to kind of keep your foot in there?
Nah, that the loop just helps. Like if the throttle's sticking, you can pick up on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's for. Nothing else. Oh, okay. All
Boy,
right.
you couldn't tell you were having a problem with your foot.
No, I wasn't. I wasn't.
He wasn't. He wasn't.
No.
I mean, was that car that hooked up? That I mean, did you have to think about what your right foot was doing in that race Saturday night?
I mean, a lot of times when I'm driving race cars, I don't really realize as much what I'm doing as I'm just going off of, what you
Seat of the
feels
pants.
best. Yeah. Mm.
Seat of the pants.
So you
Wow.
kind of nowadays you can run the adjustable shocks, and we got left rear and right rear adjusters, and this is the first year I've been able to run with them, and it's a new thing to me. And it's at first I didn't like it so much, but then after I started playing with them,
Mm-hmm.
you can completely change how the car runs on
Right.
the track. So I mean, if you don't like what the car is doing, turn it a couple times, tie it down a little more, untie one side, tie the other side down, and I mean,
It's like
Yeah.
stuff Corey Cruiseman's been working on a long time.
Yeah,
He's the
it's-
master of that
yeah,
stuff.
it's but definitely you can change your car to do what you want it to do.
Boy, she looked fast,
Yep.
man.
It's-
So,
We
you-
got. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you go ahead.
We got this wing car up now.
Yep.
This was a wingless race that you
Mhm,
ran
mhm.
Saturday. Now, how many years? Actually, I'm starting getting a little ahead of myself. First off, I wanted to know. First question was, when do you remember or really finally realize that there was a sport called racing? I mean, were you with your grandpa at a lot of this? Because your dad or nobody that close to you raced, right?
No, well, we've always lived real close to my grandparents, and my grandpa owned a shop when I was growing up, and I got off the school bus there,
Yeah.
and so I've always been in shops, and my grandpa's always, I mean, since I can remember, he's had race cars. I mean,
Yeah.
he had Mitchell Moore driving for him back
Yeah.
in, I think, the 90s and early
Yeah.
2000s and stuff, and then when I was 8, he took me to a go-kart race, and then at the end of the night, he was like, "Well, we're bringing this one home." Yeah, but I had go-karts that I drove out in the fields and
Yeah.
stuff. I grew up out on a farm, so
Yeah.
he always had me with souped-up go-karts when I was a kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So was your sister Casey? Was she right in there with you during that stuff, doing the same stuff you were? Or?
Yeah, we were always outside on four-wheelers or throwing
Yeah.
rocks at each other or something.
That kind of leads me to the next question. Then, were you not one of those kids that you always see at the pits, in the pits at the races, playing with little cars and making tracks and doing that? You never did that. You guys just raced go-karts in the.
I was
pasture.
always in the race car. When I started going to the track, I was in the race car.
You were in it. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
That's cool.
Now, with the wing car, now how many years? Well, maybe we should go through the progression of the different classes and stuff. Like you say, I think I heard you tell Greg a while ago, you started with go-karts.
Mhm.
Now, how many years did you do that?
I think I did it for one season, maybe two.
And we're at
Sedalia.
Coliseum.
Yep, in the Coliseum.
the old Coliseum.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
They haven't raced down there for.
Long time.
Long
yeah.
time.
You
Yep.
don't look that old, but anyway.
I probably racing there when I was the announcer, or maybe.
Oh, really?
No, I think I was there before that.
Yeah.
What year? Do you remember what year?
Yeah, I was 8 and I'm 28 now, so
20 years ago.
20 years ago. So 2001.
Yeah, I was there then.
yeah.
Were you? I'll be darned.
I've known you for a
Christy
long time.
Thomason was there then. She got hurt racing karts in the Coliseum, laying on her back.
Oh, really?
She wrecked a truck too at I-70, got hurt real bad.
Wow.
She's driving sprint cars now
Yeah.
too.
Mhm.
Her and your sister are only two women drivers
Yeah.
at Valley anyway.
Okay. Go-karts. Then what?
Then I went to junior sprints, and then I ran those for I think a year or two, and then
Now, where were you racing those? Where were
Street Springs.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Sweet Spring. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I thought. Okay.
Then I went from those into the actual micro sprints with the 600cc
Yeah.
street bike motors in them.
Yeah.
Yep. And I did those for a couple years. We ran restrictor, and then we ran non-wing and A class. And there was one year that we ran in the same car, non-wing and A class.
Yeah.
And I would stay strapped in the car.
Yeah.
I'd pull into the pits, and my grandpa and them, they would throw wings on it, and I'd go back out.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, then you finally get the sprint cars, but now, mostly what I remember about you, Cody, here for the last 5, 6, 7 years, has been wing sprints.
Yeah. I've always enjoyed non-wing and stuff, and you know, years ago there wasn't very much non-wing
No,
sprint
there
car
wasn't.
stuff around.
I agree.
And then
Okay, the 305 classes were all winged.
and then the you know, in the last 5, 6, 7 years, the non-wing stuff's really been picking up.
Yeah, boy.
And so I've been kind of trying to lean towards that more. And, but we kind of just go and do whatever we feel like.
Yeah. Up to this point, you got any idea of how many wins or points championships you've had so far? Don't keep track.
Nope.
Doesn't make any difference.
He's a real racer.
Nope.
They don't get thrown away, do they?
No. Nope.
Probably got some dust on them now.
Yeah. That's interesting because it seems like so many people are, I want to say, tied up in that, and it becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
And you're probably taking the right approach about, well, okay, I won that one. That's all right.
Yep.
What's next?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm looking forward to. I really hope we get to race at Lakeside this weekend. I've been looking forward to that one.
Yeah.
I mean, it's with the USAC National guys, and you know, if we can go out there and run good with those guys, that's something.
Oh,
So,
without a doubt.
Well, I-70 had to be a blast.
yeah, that track was a lot of fun. And then that was the first time I'd been in that pink car ever, and then it was the first time I'd ran I-70. I mean, first time anybody had. And I hadn't been in a non-wing car at all that year. So we went out there and won the heat race by quite a ways, and the car felt really good. And I got out there and was leading some laps, and I think I might have been driving it a little hard at first, and I burnt my tires off and stuff. And we had a caution that
Looked easy to do.
Yep, it got everybody right up on me again, and then you can't see the track changing when you're leading it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Now, answer me why.
Well, you don't see how the cars behind you start catching you different ways, and you know, if you're following somebody, you can see I'm doing this to get faster to catch them a little bit. When you're out in the lead, you kind of don't want to change what you're doing because that's how you got the lead. So you know,
There you are.
You dance with the girl that you took to the dance, or whatever you want to call that. However it's
yeah. So
now this is last year, I think, isn't it?
I think it was 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
at Valley
He's
Field.
had quite a few different paint schemes.
Yeah, I try to do these things in order whenever I can figure it out. But
that was the car that Dave Long and Mike Timmerman owned. Yep.
Now that Timmerman, isn't that part of the name of what your grandpa's deal is? Isn't it Timmerman?
Tribble.
Tribble.
Yep.
Tribble. Okay.
Yep.
Now who's that?
That's my sister's husband,
Okay.
Paul Tribble.
And
He's the one that owns the pink car.
okay. Okay.
So did she have an attitude about you driving their car?
Who, my sister?
Yeah.
No, at first she kept telling me, she was like, don't you go out there and tear that car up. Blah, blah, blah. And then after the heat race, she was like, you better go out there and win this deal. And I was like, I'm going to try. She was real excited afterwards. I think she's a little nervous about it going to Lakeside.
Yeah, I'll bet. What an interesting relationship your family has.
Yeah,
Wow,
we're all pretty close.
Before we go too far, I want to make sure and give John Lee credit for these photos. You only had like 6 on your Facebook page, so I went searching.
Yeah.
And John had a bunch from Nevada, plus some of these.
Yeah.
But Ben, what a sprint car photographer.
Yeah.
Is all I can say.
Did you see the camera that he put on the side of the car at Valley?
The 360 Garmin deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that thing is really cool. I've
Yeah.
watched it a lot of different ways, with it pointing at the left front tire. I've
Oh,
watched
really?
it pointing behind me. I've watched it pointing at my hands, watching what my hands are doing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into getting one of those. You could learn a lot about what a car's doing watching that kind of stuff, you know?
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back and rewatch that. I didn't realize you can move it around.
Yeah, you can move it all the way around.
Can you really?
Yeah, all the way around.
I've heard of those, but I've never.
And it's really good video quality too.
Yeah.
It's,
Oh, most of these in-car deals now are.
Yeah.
It's all good stuff. Back when I started, I wish I could show you my first
So-
in-car camera.
Do your race cars now have tabs for wings or not?
the Triple X does not, but I have a wing car at home that does still, and the 9 car it doesn't either, because it's a twister. It's a non-wing car.
Okay.
Here's the 9.
Here we are.
Yeah.
We're up to present now. This is down in Nevada, I presume.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's at Nevada.
I don't know. I could. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Nevada.
I think it was because he
The
had,
dirt's red.
if I remember right, he had them separated into, what do you call it? Different tracks and times and
Mhm.
whatever. But, oh yeah, well, whatever. Just another picture of you.
Got his Honda shirt on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
You ever ride dirt bikes?
No, I bought a street bike though.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I like it a lot.
You're just a gearhead.
Yep.
I think these people over here do them street bikes. I seen, what was it, the Fayetteville, whatever, corral or something down there. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Heat race. Now you started, what was that? Inside second row, wasn't it?
Third row.
Third row?
Yeah.
And, well, heck, we ain't even run a lap yet.
Yeah, he was a bullet.
Yeah, that's
Second place.
I
Well,
had
hey, see you guys.
Two
Sorry.
or three drivers that I wanted to watch, and I knew Cody would do good, but
turned a lot of laps around that Valley Speedway.
Yeah.
A lot of laps.
Helps, don't it?
Yep.
you've watched this from Saturday night, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
Wesley Smith was on a mission.
I'm trying to remember who that is leading.
That's
Xavier?
Xavier.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
Xavier Doney.
Oh, here. Look out, Xavier.
Yeah, he got pretty loose right there. I was like, oh.
It looked like the car was turning too good. Every
His-
time he
yeah.
went in the corner, it
Yeah,
acted
he
like
was-
it wanted
He
to.
was real sideways. Real sideways.
See,
Like
there it
that.
is again.
Yep.
Did the same thing.
Yep.
Man, that cost him
Well,
speed
I
there.
hope Xavier, you watch this and get some pointers, because you're going to be super fast, dude. And
Then the video guy gets in too close. Come on.
I was going to ask you, you're Lone Jack, you got Jack Wagner that you race with in Lone Jack, and now Xavier's in Odessa. You guys are all in like the same little area.
I know. And then you got Braden Cromwell. He was from
Right.
Lone
Yes,
Jack.
I was trying to think of his name today.
Yep,
Thank
he-
you.
He just went. I think he's living out in Indiana now.
Oh, is he?
Yep.
Gonna try to go to the USAC deal?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Well, did you go to high school with Jack Wagner? or-
No, I'm older. A little bit older than he is. I think he just graduated like a year or two ago. I've been out of high school quite a while.
Well, you and Wesley are trucking there.
Yeah, Wesley was, man, he wanted to get it done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he did. What I liked was the tires smoking.
Yeah.
When you guys were coming off of.
That was a heck of a race. Just the heat race alone was awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah, it kind of told you what was going to happen in the feature, didn't it?
I'll tell you what, you had the crowd really like enjoying it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that was a very good evening of racing, and people were really glad to have the sprint cars back at Valley.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish they'd run them more. I mean,
Well, you know, with the Midwest group, and
Wingless.
the Power Eye group, the War group,
mhm.
and the specials everywhere, it's hard to
Mhm.
get a weekly show.
Mhm.
And you guys, your family's always been supportive of weekly shows at Valley.
Always. Always.
And
It's
Den-
10 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Yeah.
We
Oh,
really
that's right, Lone
appreciate
Jack,
that.
Yeah. You can't beat that. And
No.
The track, I mean, it's a perfect sized track for sprint cars. Really, it's you can run the bottom, you can run the top.
Mhm.
It's always got a good little ledge around the top that you can go in there and do slide jobs on each other. It's a fun,
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's
Greg, was it you that was telling me that the guy that built this, I can't remember his name,
Mark Evinger.
Mark Evinger, was supposed to be kind of a reproduction of some other track. Wasn't that you that was telling me? Was it 36, although it's not banked as much?
I don't think he copied after anything. He had measurements what would fit there, and that's what he built.
Okay.
He was an artist with a bulldozer.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was creative, man.
I have to ask you, Cody, what do you think about that lip up around the top?
I like it. I like it. It gives you something to lean on.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Can you feel it when you kind of burn up into it?
Yeah, if you get into it too hard, I mean, it'll definitely turn you. I think later on when you watch Wesley Smith, when he was trying to catch me real hard, he kept hitting it and
Yeah.
going up over it and stuff.
Yeah.
And it really did just kill his momentum. But
Yeah, I did.
it's one of those things that's you got to, it's a fine line to run it without it kicking you up there. And
Uh-huh.
I've ran a lot of laps, and my favorite place to run is up on the cushion. So I've gotten fairly good at it. And
Now, you pretty much cut Jack off there.
yeah, he kept getting back up by me, and I'm like, man, I need to take his line away after I get by him.
Uh-huh.
So I started trying different things because it was pretty slick coming out up top over there. So I started coming in high and diamonding down to the good coming off. And
Uh-huh.
this whole time during this deal, I'm playing with my shocks, trying to get it to get better bite and stuff.
Wow,
I don't know how you got time to do that.
And, yeah.
In there turning
that's
knobs.
like playing the organ.
Yeah.
Now, is there one for each side?
Yeah, there's one for the right rear and there's one for the left rear.
Yeah.
And you can tie it down to where it has the rebound on it.
Yeah.
You can tie it down more or less on the left, more or less on the right.
You wonder if Jack's doing the same thing?
Jack got slower. I don't know what happened to Jack.
Well, you turn it the wrong way, you go slower.
You turn it the wrong way.
Well, at one point, I had turned the left rear all the way up, and then the couple clicks on the right, and then I was like, all right, maybe I need to turn the left rear down. So I start cranking out of it, and it started carrying the left a lot, and it was picking the whole car up. And so I was like, oh, I better tie it back down a little bit. And, there was a couple times I went into one, and it seemed like the whole car was coming off the ground.
It was. You'll see it here in a minute.
Yeah.
For sure.
And she's sensitive on those adjustments.
Yeah.
I think, just from what I saw, and I'm just a video guy, but it seemed like to me that you were down off of that cushion just a little bit more than what Wesley was. It seemed Wesley was banging that thing.
And I think that's what cost him kind of because he would get up into it so hard, and you get a good little bite here and there, but you can only do it so many times
And
until it
can't be consistent.
Yeah, and that's
Were you-
consistency is what gets what gets it done.
Sometimes you would kind of run up to it and just kind of touch it, but like you say, then you cut kind of down the track and wouldn't stay up on the cushion.
Mm-hmm.
And it seemed like, to me, where you were getting away from him. Now here you are getting into lap traffic.
Mm-hmm.
What made you go down low?
He kept wanting to drift up, coming out of the corners and stuff, and I'd rather not get pinched up into the wall. And
Thought you couldn't pass him up there?
yeah, well, it's if you get up under them, they kind of like, oh well, there's the leader going by, and
Yeah.
I like the way you
Yeah, he slowed
think.
down for them guys.
and I
every time you pass a car, it's a different scenario.
yep, and
There you lift the front end up there a little
yeah,
bit.
years ago we were running Double X Speedway every Sunday night with a wing car.
Oh man.
And Jason Johnson was coming home every week, and he would stop by Double X and get his car out. And we had some pretty heated races there for a while. Me and him
Really?
didn't. Yeah, there was a couple of weeks we didn't get along, and then we started getting along better. And he started telling me, different things he would do. Like the cushion there would always get real big, and we'd be hitting that thing and biking, and people would go flipping off the end of the track. And on the cautions, he would go up and he would run toward the floor pan, would be dragging the cushion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He told me he was knocking the cushion down where it was
You're kidding me.
a better cushion to run and stuff. But he also told me, he's like, if you ever come up on lap traffic and you slow down to their pace, it's so much harder to pass them because you don't have that momentum again. And he's like, you're almost better off to then slow down a little bit, get a little bit where you can get momentum going back up to them, and then you can get by them again. He's like, if you get slowed down to their speed, then it's hard to get going back in a rhythm of going good.
Right.
I was just getting ready to ask you if there was any drivers that you really studied or accept mentoring from, because you got a classic style. It's like you're old school. Kind of,
Yeah. I'd say growing up, my favorite driver was always Robert Blue.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Robert Blue, he's been one of my favorites. Darren Clayton, I've always liked him. And then, we came to a USAC show at Valley a long time ago, and Levi Jones was pitted right next to us, and I talked to him all night, and he was a real nice guy. He'd tell me setup stuff.
Oh,
and all
really?
this, and,
Wow.
I mean, so I've always looked up to kind of the non-wing guys.
right.
First time I went to a USAC show at Lakeside, and they're carrying the front end down the straightaway and
Yeah.
throwing the car into the corner and just backing it in. I was like, damn, these guys are crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like,
And now you're doing it.
Especially Baloo and Clayton.
Yeah. I was like, man, that's what
Yeah.
I want to do right there.
I don't think I really noticed it much until I watched this video, but see, you're smoking pretty good here now.
Yeah.
You have been for 3 or 4 laps.
So
you've been
is there
smoking.
oil under your feet right now?
Oh yeah, it was all over me.
There's the white flag.
It was all over me.
I give Wesley credit, man. He did one more shot at it here,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there was no way he was going to get
Now
you.
look at that, hey, boy, that's kamikaze there.
Yeah.
And he didn't complete a slide job,
No.
but boy, you knew he was there, didn't you?
Yep.
One fine race, I have to say. I think that may be. Well, I know it's the best sprint race I've seen this year,
This year, yeah.
and it could be up there with anything I saw last year.
It'd be better if we could hear the volume, hear the sound. Right?
Hear the announcer?
Yeah, hear the announcer.
Sure. Greg.
Cody makes me excited when he's racing.
Greg's the announcer at Valley.
Yeah, normally right here I would have done some donuts,
Yeah.
but the motor was overheating.
Oh, you
real
got in
bad.
trouble for that a couple of years ago in the midget,
Yeah,
didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yes,
If I remember right.
Yes, I did. And now
In
he
fact, I
looks-
think you got disqualified, didn't you?
No, I didn't get disqualified.
Oh, you didn't?
No, they said they were going to, but they didn't. But now Dennis was asking me, he's like, "Why didn't you do donuts?" The motor was really hot. and-
Yes, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yep.
Okay, so this little gal in the picture here now is going to be your mom.
Yeah, coming up.
Now, this gal's just a trophy
That's
girl.
just trophy girl.
That's what I thought.
Yep,
Okay.
yep. The one in the orange shirt, that's
Mhm.
Paul Tribble. He's the one that owns the pink car.
Oh, okay. All
And
right.
That's Lloyd Dickey. He's came and helped us for years. I mean,
I was wondering if Lloyd is a family. He might
Yeah,
as well be.
Might
His
as well
face
be,
looks
yeah,
familiar.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's family. And my grandpa, Ted Hall,
How old is Ted?
82, I think.
Wow, and still going strong.
He loves that racing. That's what's
Oh, yeah.
keeping him ticking. You
Yeah.
know it.
There she is.
Yep. Yep, my mom's the one on the far left, and then that's Marilyn Hall right there, my grandpa's wife. She's just as ate up about it as anybody.
Oh, really? Oh, I was
Oh,
going to
yeah.
say, she had that trophy, man. She was cuddling that thing like a little baby.
Yeah,
She was up there on the porch where I was up videoing, and
she-
smile, man. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
It's a great family.
Yep.
Ted
Yep.
and Marilyn are awesome.
Yep.
So there's no children
then your mom wanted to
with
come over
Marilyn
and stand in
and
front
your
of me.
family?
Huh?
Ted, okay, your
My-
grandpa
my,
and
my grandpa and grandma. My mom is their kid.
that's what. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what that one.
Yeah.
Their
Trying to
daughter.
figure out.
There are so many really good young drivers right now.
Man,
Cody here in the Kansas City area. I think Greg, if we keep going, and it's already reminded me a little bit of what would that be, the 50s and 60s when we had the Wells. I mean, we
Yeah.
don't have a family,
Oh yeah.
but I'm just saying
we got the potential for it.
we have got a real group of non-wing drivers here around the Kansas City area. Of course, I include Wesley in that, but he's from what, Nexa or
Yeah.
somewhere down there. But Xavier coming in and Jack.
Mhm.
Oh, we got some great young guns.
Mhm.
I'm still gonna put Cody in the young gun class
Yeah,
for maybe 2 more years. Buddy.
2 more years.
Yeah.
But you've got to feel honored to be in that group because, like I say, really, I think you guys can go to any race, and I think you got a shot at it
Yeah, hopefully so. I mean, I guess we'll find out a lot this weekend.
this weekend.
You know, it's cool to run up front with the local guys and everything,
Uh-huh.
you know, but it'll be real cool if we can do that with the USAC guys.
Absolutely.
Them guys,
That's kind of the gold standard,
yep. Yep.
as they say.
Yep.
But of course, as a longtime sprint car fan, I couldn't be happier.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
wish I could see more, because I'm gonna tell you the truth. This is my first sprint race this year,
Yeah.
and there are reasons, but we won't go into that.
That's a heck of a picture there.
Yeah.
Yeah, John had several of these. In fact, what was really neat was he had some of these where they would be like 2 seconds apart. It was almost like a movie in slow motion.
Mhm.
It'd have them there and in here and in here and in here, and it was really neat. You could click through there and do those, and gosh, it was neat. It was fun to look at those. Like I say, thank you, John. I appreciate it. Me getting those off his website, I guess that was, yeah. High Flying Photos, by the way, folks.
HighFlyingPhotos.com.
Cody, what do you consider right now as your biggest win so far in your career?
Probably the national tour race at Wheatland, the wing show.
Oh, the wing show, ASCS.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
What was that? The what do you call it? Hocket.
No, it was the Sizzling Summer Speed Week.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And you won that.
Yep. Started in the back. Started, I think, last in a heat race with a stacked heat race, and came up and won the heat race. And
Yeah.
then started up front and went out there and led every lap.
Did you really?
Yep. Yep.
Wow. Yeah, that's some nasty boys there.
Yeah. You know, I like starting in the back of heat races. You can only go forward,
Right.
and then you got a lot of passing points. And,
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. If you start on the front row and you don't win it, you're in a bad spot.
Well, and like you say, in the back too, it kind of gives you a little advantage too of seeing where everybody's
Mhm,
running and what the
mhm.
lines are that are
Yep.
actually out there.
Yep.
So it's not an all bad deal.
Yeah, and if you race if you pay attention to who does what in a race car, you know, you kind of got an idea. Some people tend to go to the bottom more.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, they drive the cars straighter, or
Mhm.
you kind of get an idea of, you memorize who's going to do what
Yeah.
and where they're going to go, and you can a lot of times I have a pretty good idea of where I'm going to go the first 3 laps, and then I kind of go from there.
Okay. Well, like you say, kind of having a mental history or whatever of those guys and what they do
Mhm.
has got to be a big advantage.
Yep.
Well, that's what those USAC guys do. They'll sit and watch all the heat races. They know everybody they're racing with.
Mhm.
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 That John Stanbro, he was
Yeah.
one of those. He's really kind of more of a conservative driver, but boy, he was fast.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I like when I'm at home, if I'm not working on cars or working on race cars or trucks or anything like that, then I go inside and I'm watching racing footage and
Are you really?
mhm,
Yeah.
yep, dirt vision and flow
Right.
and
well, that's great.
yep, you
That's-
can't ever watch too much racing.
It's
Yeah.
a great sport to focus on.
Yep.
You know, I'm sure basketball players and all those guys do the same thing with their sport, but
Mhm, probably.
we got some great. I mean, the video games and all that. Do you do those?
Nope,
Don't do
I
that.
don't play video games at all.
Huh. Good.
Nope.
Maybe you're somebody I could beat.
I'm sure you could, but I don't play video games. Never have.
Yeah.
Nope.
Cody, I think I told you Saturday night, you're one of the guys that we wanted to get on the show for a couple of years, and I think you said your schedule was somewhat limited last year.
Yep.
And I don't know how many wins you had or whatever, but we just never could make the connection. But
Yep.
man, as soon as I told Greg that you were going to be on, and he was going out of town, I said, "You think you'll be back Wednesday?" He said, "I got to be back to interview Cody."
Yeah. You
Yeah.
bet.
So that's kind of the feeling we were having here.
Yeah.
And when you said you were going to be available Wednesday, I thought, we can do this.
Yeah. Yep.
It's no big deal.
Have you got
we
a
can do
pen
this.
over there, Mike?
No. I don't.
One thing I was getting ready to do, so everybody can hear it, I guess. You said you worried about your truck. You can call me if you get down the road.
No, it's gonna make it home. I just gotta
Is
pull
it
the exhaust off
Just
and weld it
exhaust.
up.
Exhaust
Well,
is
I've
loose.
had them dragging, and then
No, it ain't dragging.
you need wire or something.
No,
Yeah.
it's on the hanger still and
Yeah,
everything.
I've done the coat hanger thing before.
Yeah. I'll still give you my number though.
But anyway, Cody, I appreciate you taking some time. I think you said you were working, but also you're going to school. What are you going to school for?
No, I'm not going to school. Just working.
Oh, okay.
What do you do?
I thought you said you had a class.
Yeah, I do these. It's for putting in flooring.
Yeah.
It's like to get it certified and stuff.
Oh, okay, okay.
But I install flooring,
Like-
hard surface, hardwood floors, laminate.
Right.
Wow, okay.
Do a lot of new construction. We do
Yeah.
a lot of tear outs. We do a lot of trim and base. We pretty much do a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow I'm going to do drywall. So
Call your number there, so in case you do need help.
But anyway, Cody, I want to thank you for taking some time out of your evening and coming on and being on with us. Like I say, it has been a pure pleasure. I
didn't get
feel like we have talked to one of the top sprint car drivers in our
Oh,
part
yes,
of the country.
indeed.
Thank you guys.
And I'm totally amazed that he hasn't ever done video games.
But
Even Jeff Gordon come from those, and he's an old guy.
I will be watching the results next week to see how
I
you
grew up
do.
out in the country. We always were outside, and me and my sister would be running through the creeks, or just swimming in farm ponds. And
I nailed it. You're a young driver, but yet you're old school.
yep,
That's what's cool.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, thanks for coming on,
Yeah.
man. It's
Thanks
been
for
a
having
pleasure to have you. Like I say, thanks for taking your time
yep,
and agreeing to do this.
Yep.
And like I say, I'll be watching Lakeside, man.
yeah. Hopefully we get to run.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
we may-
2 nights, you'll surely get one of them.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, buddy.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
keep your seat, Mike.
Keep your seat. Okay, I'll keep my seat.
Brandon, if you want to step in.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, my
Yep,
friend.
yep.
Good luck at Lakeside.
Yeah, thank you.
No short guy here.
No.
How tall are you, Brandon?
6'4".
Well, that's what I guessed.
Yeah.
I was thinking 6'4", 6'5". Oh yeah. Now this is the way to start out right here. This is it, man.
That's funny. That was a long time ago.
Was it?
Yeah, that was
Vivo
Cherry and I's
Vigo.
anniversary.
Uh,
I think it was like her 10 year, back 10 years ago.
yeah. But I seen that. I thought, man, that's a show opener there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a pretty fun trip. It was the first time we ever went. But,
Yeah.
But we always wanted to go. But if I ever went back, I'd want to go with a bunch of friends.
Oh yeah, that
Just
would
her
be.
and I. We did a lot of walking.
Yeah, that would be even funner.
See some dandies out there.
And what was it? I seen some dandies. I seen the hotel you stayed at, and I can't remember
This
now.
is the Mirage.
Mirage.
Yeah.
Mirage.
Yeah.
But yeah, fabulous place to visit.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
you're in that neck of the woods, and you decided to take on the Jimmy Johnson look.
And
Hey,
here we go. We got to
white-
get Mama in here.
White stuff's just from waking up every day.
Yeah, I had got the same problem, but mine
A
went
couple daughters.
too extreme. Now here, this is what happened.
I'm sure I'm right behind you if I keep waking up.
Was this the hotel in?
Yeah, probably. I
In-
can't remember.
in Vegas?
It's been had a lot of Friday and Saturday nights since then.
Is that a cool hat you're wearing, or is that a plant?
A plan.
Yeah, I can't really tell. Probably a palm tree. We got those out there.
There's a lot to be said for.
Now I'm guessing 20 years old there.
Yeah, I think we were like 18 then. That was before we had our first.
Oh really?
Yeah, that was at the local gas station. That was a place called Apco. That's where we all went. That's before cell phones. Nobody knew what you were doing. You had to go meet.
What town was that?
Lewisburg, Kansas.
Oh yeah, it's down in the sticks, all right.
It was then. It's
Not
grown.
now,
It's
huh?
grown quite a
Yeah, not
bit.
now.
Yeah.
If that would have happened down there, I can picture it.
Yeah, it's funny. That was back
So
when my hair was.
you all went to high school together?
Yeah, we went to school together since we were in first grade.
Did you really?
Mm-hmm.
First grade.
Did you do
Man, oh,
prom
man.
together and all that?
No, didn't do that. We didn't start dating until think I'd graduated already. She was a senior
Oh, older woman.
that summer.
Yeah. Does it every time.
Yeah. We were friends, but
This must be Nevada, the
Yeah.
yellow wall.
yeah, that was Nevada. I think that was the third win down there.
Mm. Last year.
Yeah, that was last year. That was our first year in a car. I raced go-karts.
You in a go-kart?
Yeah, we raced at KC Raceway in 18. We raced about 5 times. It was funny because I've always, back when the Thunder Lake Speedway, I think that's what it was, there off Walcott. I was 20 then, and I always wanted to do it, and I'd worked with some guys. I worked for J. Dunn Construction, and some electrician guy I met, and his son did it.
Yeah.
And he's like, come check it out. And I went there, and of course we had young daughters then, and shoot, I couldn't afford to do racing, so we just watched a couple times,
Yeah.
and then it just kind of went away. And then I don't remember what happened. We were on a razor ride, side by side.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine had a ride, and we were over there, and his son came up with a flatbed truck, and he had one of those Predator carts. It didn't have a body on it, but it was the racing chassis, and I was all looking at it. He's like, you want to drive it? And so I was out in the front yard burning laps, and next week I had already found a track, and I drug her up to KC, and
That
she
was the
thought
start.
she thought we were getting go-karts to race at the house, but yeah, I ended up getting hooked into that.
Didn't work that way.
That's how the whole racing deal started. Actually, one of my best friends, Bud Neiswanger, James, I met him. I was looking for a cart stand. I was starting to put parts together, so I could go do it, and somebody tagged him in a post about a stand. He was getting out. He actually has a USRA stock car, and he was putting it together. And shoot, I went to his house that Sunday, and I didn't leave. I was pretty late getting home.
Yeah.
And we were pretty inseparable by then. And then we raced. I got him back into karts, and then we raced a full season the next year, and actually won a championship there in the Masters class.
Really?
Yeah.
At Thunder Lake.
No, this was at KC Raceway.
Oh, KC Raceway.
Yeah.
Oh,
This
okay.
was just in 19.
Oh, okay.
And
All
then
right.
I'm getting older in age, so but I say that, but I wanted a cage and a harness pretty much. That was my justification on getting a big car. So we found this car, and it needed some work when we got it. And him and I, man, we spent a lot of time working on it and getting it going, and then had some motor problems, like probably 3 races in, man, I didn't finish a race for the first 3. It was either a flat or the motor I couldn't keep it cool. Finally the motor went south, and my buddy Jason Estes, I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah.
Jason's been racing a long time. He's got a lot of knowledge, and we've known each other probably 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, we worked together.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I always was on the horn with him, and when I told him about it, and he's got a good engine builder in Jim Cameron.
Oh, yeah. Jim Cameron.
So you're a south guy and he's a north guy.
Yeah.
I want
I've been up there a bunch, but
Have you? You
yeah.
ever raced up there?
I raced at 35.5 4 or 5 times last year.
Did you?
We had some good runs up there. It was just a lot of mistakes made by
Yeah.
me, and we're starting to get it figured out, and it's a lot of work, but,
Oh, yeah,
but you got to put in work, So,
Where did the 399 come from?
so that's actually when I got into go-karts, I saw my buddy, and he's a 44, so if you go to a track and you register or sign in after someone and you have the same number, you got to put a piece of tape on there. And we live on 399, so I was like, nobody's going to have that number.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it just kind of stuck.
This don't look like it was a good night here.
Now we were in a heat race there, and we were out there running first, and I snapped a right rear axle.
And I wanted to ask you about this, man. That's a nice fish. I'm guessing 8 pounds.
We didn't weigh that thing, but it was so funny that day. We were ripping some lips there. Between her and my daughters on that 5-acre pond there, man, we were smashing them.
Oh,
You
really?
couldn't even keep a pole in the water.
Really?
Uh-uh.
Oh, man. That's when it's fun.
There was no beers drank that day. We were too busy fishing.
The only thing is something like that spoils you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Like I say, well, I hate it when I go fishing and you catch a fish on the first cast.
Yeah.
The rest of the day is ruined because
Yeah.
you know that it's not going to happen, and it usually doesn't.
Right.
But man, that's a nice fish.
Yeah, that was back before racing, man.
I was
We had
gonna
time to
say,
fish.
I was gonna say you didn't have to work on a race car that day, apparently.
It's a second job, man.
Yeah.
If you wanna do good, I mean, there's a desire there, right? You know, to run, to be fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's nothing to it but to do it, and it takes a lot of hours to do it.
it does, and I've been fortunate, like I was saying, to have guys around me that's done it and to pick their brain and visit, and especially Jason, you know, and there's been a lot of phone calls.
Yeah. And he's done his share.
Oh yeah,
He's been at it for a long time.
He's a wheel man.
And
I'm gonna put him in the car this.
Oh, are you really?
One of these races this year,
I was
just to
gonna
let
say
him have fun with
he
it.
hadn't raced for a while, has he?
he
Last
raced
year, we got him out a couple times.
Yeah.
He'll probably do it a couple times this year. He probably ain't thought that far ahead. But we're getting ready to go have some fun. Hopefully the weather works for us. We're all going to go do some camping down and go to the Show Me
Oh yeah.
next weekend.
Yeah.
And taking the race car.
No, we ain't taking a race car. We're just going to go hang out. They're running, I think, that Show Me 100. What is that, late model?
That's all late
modified?
models. Late models.
Late
Modifieds,
models.
probably. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's a heck of a race. I went down to West Plains for that for a couple of years.
yeah,
And really enjoyed it down there. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it down at Lucas, but I'm sure it'll be just as good.
it'll be my first time going to
Yeah.
Lucas. So.
Now, was this Saturday night? Or was
Actually, that
just-
was about probably 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago?
2 weeks ago.
At
Yeah.
Butler.
We've had a heck of a run down there, man. We've had some good luck and figured that track out.
I was gonna say you've been focusing on
Yeah.
71. Have you
Yeah.
made all their races?
Yeah, we have. We're gonna go ahead. I think Jason was on me about this, but he said miss the first 2 weeks so you don't get stuck racing for points. And I went the first night. We had pretty good luck, so it was just hard not to go back. And it's Friday evenings.
Yeah.
What's cool, what Jerry and them's doing down there is they're running it's kind of like a mini. It's 2 seasons. So the first one goes from April 2nd to I think July 13th if we don't get rained out, and then there's a break, and then I think from
Yeah.
August on he's going to do another like a fall mini series.
I thought he was taking August off. I thought I read that the
He's
other
taking
day,
the
and it
hottest.
was to the end of
Oh,
August.
is he?
And
He's avoiding all the bad heat.
Okay,
yeah,
maybe
taking August off, and then starts up again in September.
okay, maybe I misread that.
I think I read that on there the other day. Now, where are you?
We started second row outside. Yeah, this car moves. It's a
I wish they'd move that light right there. It shines on that fence, and you can't see the cars going into.
Yeah,
Number one.
Jerry's done a good job
Yeah,
bringing
they
that
have.
place back to life.
He sure has.
In a short time,
Yeah,
man.
he's got some good folks that help him, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, we
Man, they got a bunch of pure stock.
I think there was
Yeah.
19 of us that night.
They had
Where
a good
did
car
they all
count.
come from?
They had a good
Everywhere.
car count. Well, everything was rained out.
Well, no, it wasn't rained out. Jerry was paying $500 to win.
Oh, well, did he really?
Yeah.
'Cause
And then they had some added money. I think we ended up pulling off like $641
Wow. No,
You're
I think the
already-
only other track that ran that I knew of was Lakeside,
on Friday.
and they ran USMTS.
Okay, yeah, you're right. No, yeah, 36 rained out. You're right.
36 rained out,
You're right.
and
You're right about
Humboldt rained out.
that. Yeah.
Did
Did Humboldt rain? No, they raced.
they?
Yeah, they raced. Yeah, Derek Wilson won there.
But anyway, man, you just got out front, and
Yeah, she's
and
I'll tell you what. I mean, I've always pretty much everything I've ever tried to get in, I always try to will it, but just go-kart racing's helped me a ton. Because
Yeah.
that's a momentum game there. If you jack up in go-kart racing, you're going in the back. You know, you get freight trains. So the more square you can keep that car and throttle control,
well, and
She'll
these
go.
pure stocks aren't the most powerful.
I've been wanting to throw in a shameless plug. KC Raceway and carts, you can now arrive and drive.
yeah,
Oh,
that's
they
pretty
got the
cool.
arrive and drive.
Yeah, I
He's
seen
got
that.
carts there, and you can come race.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
Not on race night.
No, they'll have them in races on Saturday night.
Will they really?
No kidding.
That's kind of the plan? Of it?
Oh, so he doesn't arrive and drive with the racers, but I think he has some commercial ones like he bought,
Yeah.
and he's doing that. I don't know if they're. I doubt they're racing with the guys, but
No,
with the.
there'll be a heat race for whoever wants
Right.
to drive and drive.
Okay,
Oh,
that's pretty
It'll
cool.
be incorporated in the program.
Yeah.
That's fun.
You were getting so far ahead, Brandon, I had to show the race there for a second.
Dang it. Yeah, we.
I'm sorry.
Well, I tell you what,
He
man,
was
the
dominating.
cautions really hurt me in my game because
Yeah.
I'll get to smashing laps, you
Uh-huh.
know, and just getting a groove and just getting a rhythm,
Uh-huh.
and we're getting more seat time. It's coming.
Them cautions change that, you lose your rhythm.
Yeah, I've had it, and then I've actually started on a pole a couple times this year, and man, I'll tell you what, and Jason told me, he's like, you'll never get good at it because I am not good at starting on a pole.
Uh-huh.
I do not. It's
No,
not something fun I like to do.
It's not.
Well, I'm surprised because it really, just watching these videos, it looks like your car handles really well down
Oh, yeah.
on the lower side of the track. Because
Yeah.
I don't think I remember seeing you up on the cushion at all.
No, not in this race. The weekend before, we ended up going top side when we raced the Saturday before.
Uh-huh.
We started fifth and ended up getting her up into second. DJ got us. He was running really good, and but we went top. You know, the
Uh-huh.
car will run anywhere I put it. The car's a good car. I mean, if the driver shows up, it'll run. Out there. It's just,
Got a driver this night.
Speaking about the car, what is there a chassis manufacturer here?
No,
Who
man,
made it? Or
Man, I'll tell you what, that thing's original. It's a Cutlass.
yeah,
It's still got factory A-arms, everything straight on it. The only thing I got in it that's aftermarket's the floater,
yeah.
you know.
Huh.
But it's an original car, and we got it. It's pretty beat up on the right side. If you see it when it ain't moving, I think it was the third race I had in it. We went to Humboldt, and I was in the heat race running third, and the guy in second kind of spun out, and I didn't really have nowhere to go.
Uh-huh.
And the car kind of backed down the track a little bit, and he caught me right there at that door post, and it just pushed everything backwards. It's old Frankenstein on that side, but I don't know.
Hey, it's about outrunning Bobby Overenberg and
No, I
Yeah, I
think
think
that's
that's
Cody.
Cody and
Oh,
Alex
that's
Crawford. Yeah.
Cody and Alex Crawford.
Yeah. So the weekend before we had a good race. So Cody, he's real fast on the high side there. And I started on the pole. He started outside pole, and he drug us around. And then Crawford got around us, and I had to kind of get my stuff together, and I just kind of was saving my stuff, you know, for the end of the
Yeah.
race. And we ended up using that 3 and 4 on the bottom, and just like I said, just keep that car square and rolling in and out of it, and we got around both of them for the win. It was pretty cool, but yeah, it's a good. We're having fun. I mean,
I
I
imagine.
got a pretty good sponsor over there sitting on the couch, so that's about the best one I got. She puts up with me, so we have a lot of fun together. We don't really go too many places without each other, so
That's great.
it's one of the things we do together. She's right there supporting me, so she helps me change my tires and stuff in between heats and features, and
Man, that's a good deal.
Oops, something's on fire.
cooks me supper when I'm out in the shop. So
Y'all got kids?
yeah, we have 2 daughters. Our youngest is going to be graduating high school
Oh,
Saturday.
really?
Our oldest is she's on her own. They'll be 22 and 19 this year.
Oh my gosh, you don't look that old either.
I
one of you.
appreciate it. We started fairly young, but it's working out. They're pretty good kids. Pretty proud of them.
Every yellow though, you're talking about his restarts.
Yeah,
You pull out every time. I mean, 3,
Yeah.
4, 5 car lengths every time.
Yeah, he got it in the bag, it looks like.
And
Yeah.
white flag.
Led every lap, right?
Yeah.
This one. I had something to race for that night. I pretty much left the house. It was either going to be checkers or wreckers that night. I'll tell you why. A good friend of mine, one of my good friends, he ended up about 3 years ago diagnosed with brain cancer,
Uh-huh.
and he's beaten it so far, and it's probably the worst you can have. And he's doing really well, and he gets a scan every 3 months.
Yeah.
And it come back clean, and he had texted us in our group text when we were loading that car up to leave. And
Yeah.
it just pumped me up. I was like, tonight's the night. I'm going. It's either gonna happen or it ain't. So.
It's funny what'll motivate people about
Yeah.
stuff like this. It's, to me, it's just a part of racing because racing is just so unpredictable.
Yeah.
And they talk about lady luck and all that kind of stuff, but man, you just never know what's going to happen at the
That's
track.
right, man. I mean,
Never know.
it's nerve wracking to say the least. I mean, you think about, man, I hope nobody in
Yeah.
front of me and I got somewhere to go, or
Yeah.
because it can happen like that. And I
Yeah.
mean, you go from a maintenance program during the week to straightening stuff out,
Yeah.
and I mean late nights.
Yeah.
And that's how we was last year. So far this year, we've had a really good year. We've ran really well and had some really great finishes. We ran I think 6 races at Old 71 and 1 at Nevada. We ended up second down there at Nevada.
Yeah. Well, now you've won 4 or 5 at Old 71. I couldn't.
5 this
That's
year.
what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it was 5, but I wasn't sure because I haven't been there.
So is that the most wins you've got at any one racetrack?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just started last year. Like I said, I have 4 last year and then 5 this year, and I'm starting to like the dry slick tracks, man. It brings the driver out,
Yeah.
and you know, I mean, the hammer down's fun. You can go. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
Though. You can just put her to the wood and go, but you get on a slick track and you
It's
gotta,
different, isn't it?
You gotta,
This is something every man wants right here, is a woman that can drive a boat.
yeah. We've had a lot of fun on that boat. Our girls were raised on that. That's a '77 Baja original.
Oh, be darned.
Had a 406 small block in it.
Yeah.
And it ran good. It was 19-footer,
Wow.
and we had it for 10 years, and got into the side by sides, and
Oh, really?
we actually sold it when we moved to our new place
Yeah.
because we lived a little further south from the lake,
Yeah.
and it was just a lot of work.
Where's that
Yeah.
at?
Could she put it on the
Scene?
trailer?
That's at Hillsdale Lake, and
Hillsdale.
down by yeah.
That's
off
even better.
161.
She could put it on the trailer, right?
Yeah, after a couple drinks. It was a lot better at it then. It's crazy. That was down at the shootout in the Ozarks. Man, that's crazy, isn't it?
That's a beautiful boat. I
Woo!
always kind of wanted to ride in one of those
Me
just to
too.
see what it would be like, because I could do. I had a fishing ski that I
Yeah.
did some bass tournaments, and that baby would do 55,
Yeah.
and that was pretty crazy on the water.
Yeah, that is moving.
55.
I couldn't
but-
imagine feeding that thing fuel.
Oh, no.
It's
Are
got
you
3
kidding?
motors in it.
No. Yeah, that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Just trying to keep up. Of course, it's like buying a motorhome.
Right. Yeah. I saw your
Don't
motor.
buy one if you can't buy the gas for it.
I know, and it's going up. And that's the kind of the good things about the pure factory stocks. I mean, we just run regular unleaded.
Unleaded,
But
yeah.
that's still even getting. I mean, I couldn't imagine having to buy race fuel right now.
No way.
Yeah, I've been there.
Bass.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the go-kart now. Is this the one you
Yeah.
raced?
Yeah.
99.
Yeah. That's our. I sold that to he's a friend of mine now. He lives down. They race at Twister. Have you ever heard of Twister?
No.
Alan?
Uh-uh.
Man, it's past Monette.
Down in Billings or somewhere. Down in,
Oh, down around Billings?
I
I
think
could-
I know where Billings is. Down there
Mhm.
off 60.
I'm
isn't it?
not certain. There was 2 or 3 of them down there.
Yeah.
Twister Alley is the only one that's surviving, I think.
It's a really good ran track.
Oh.
Yeah, don't get me lying to you. I don't know where it's at, but we raced down there a time and had fun. But Brian Neely, he bought that. Him and his boy Emmett, they raced down there, and he's been winning with that chassis. It's a good one. But oh man, down at the sand, that Jeep was on fire.
Yes, I noticed.
I didn't know
Burning
if that
tranny
was
up, I guess.
something from the war in the desert or what.
I don't think that 4-wheeler touched front wheels very often.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
not you.
Yeah, that's me on there.
That's crazy.
Now, when you say down at the sand, is this that deal in Oklahoma?
Yeah, Waynoka.
Yeah.
Little Sahara's what
Little
they call it.
Sahara.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
A guy I worked with always wanted to go down there and
That's
ride. I don't know if he ever made it or not, but
Yeah.
they used to talk about going down there.
It's a poke down there.
Yeah.
It's about probably 6 hours. From
Is it
here,
really?
So yeah, 6.5 hours from
You
here.
pretty much commit to all day or a weekend when you go down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a weekend.
Yeah.
Usually.
My question is, where did all the sand come from?
They said, I think it was like 10 million years ago, the Persimmon River deposited it down there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's what
I'll be
I've
darned.
heard, but
Because that's like the great sand dunes out in Colorado. I always think, well, heck, where did
Yeah.
all that come from?
that's Colorado.
Crazy.
That was back in 07. I broke my neck on that trip.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my, sorry to laugh.
Well, I
Sorry
finished,
to laugh.
finished the trip and ended up having a neck surgery after
I
it.
just
but
can't imagine.
Really? I mean, did you fall skiing or?
Snowboarding. I ate it pretty rough.
Yeah.
Me and a buddy thought it'd be funny to race from the top of Keystone down, and we didn't realize what our legs were going to feel like when we got down there, and they just didn't work. My mind knew what I wanted to do, but my
Yeah.
legs didn't.
It's pretty much like you see a tall guy doing anything, you just that fool gonna break his neck.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody's like, man, how do you get in that car? We've got that thing set up like a lazy boy.
Oh, really?
The pedals are pushed all the way forward, steering wheel's pulled back, and the seat's cocked back. It's comfortable.
Did you play basketball?
I didn't, man. I never really did dig basketball.
Huh.
I played football and a lot of soccer. I played goalkeeper in soccer for a
Oh,
lot
did
of
you?
years. And
Yeah, you could cover a lot of
Yeah,
wingspan
so-
there, I
Did-
imagine.
Personal question here, but does your head clear the roll cage?
yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah.
You
Yep.
stay within the roll cage?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I couldn't ride that storm out.
Yeah,
Never know.
I want to know who's flying this helicopter upside down.
So that's one of my hobbies
Really?
of many. Yeah. So I got into building model helicopters and flying 3D
Yeah.
back in 2001, and I did that until about 13, and then FPV came out. I took a break, and FPV came out. I started building quadcopters, drones,
Yeah.
and I've got probably 10 of those.
Oh, do you really?
Collecting dust.
Have
but-
you ever raced those like they
Yeah, I did.
show on TV?
I did
Where
when
you
it
wear the
first-
goggles or whatever?
Yeah, I have. I did when it first started in Kansas City.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did it a little bit, and then our side by side and stuff was way much funner. So
Yeah.
I just pretty much put that on the back burner. But
Man, you'd have to have some good hand-eye coordination for that.
it
I would
helps.
think.
Them helicopters helps
Oh,
because you're
God.
flying those without any gyros or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, and so that was a pretty cool night. That was championship night for old Critter.
Critter, who's
Chris.
Oh,
Chris
Kircher?
Yeah.
that? Critter, is that what they call him?
Yeah, that's his nickname.
Okay.
There's Bud on the right. He's the one that helped me when we first got that car.
Yeah.
Every night, and then John Boy's on the left there. He helps Chris a lot. Him and his wife Becky. That's Chris, his sister. They just had their first baby yesterday.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, guys.
Yeah, they had him at Olathe Med. We're doing a remodel there now.
Yeah.
About got it wrapped up.
Did you say it was Jay Dunn?
Jay Dunn. Yeah, Jay Dunn Construction.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they do a lot of work around Kansas City.
Oh yeah.
What's your biggest win so far? Or, let's make it this.
Probably the first one. That's
Okay.
always the best one, right? I mean, I haven't won as many as Cody.
Well,
Yeah.
He's been doing it a long time. I've been doing it for 2 years. This is my
Yeah.
second year, so I'd say the first one was pretty special. I didn't know if it was
Nevada?
ever going to happen.
At
Yeah,
Nevada.
yeah. My mom was there. From
Oh, really?
Oklahoma. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mom getting to be there, and she comes up when she can. She really loves it. She's always hooping and hollering and having fun.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
So, Salina High Banks is where they live a mile from there. I know
Oh, do
you guys
they?
have heard of that track.
Oh
out of
yes.
Oklahoma.
Absolutely. Huh.
Yeah.
My mom's sitting here. I'll tell you a story about her. She's not really that much into racing. And I went to West Plains. Her sisters, they all come to watch me race. I said,
Yeah.
I got it really good tonight.
Yeah, no pressure.
And got in a wreck, and I was waving for the ambulance to come look at me because my thumb was pointed this way.
Oh no!
Yeah, I covered my hand like that. I saw Mom up by the fence.
Didn't want to show her.
Yeah. I'm just going to go have the doctor look at this.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, that's funny.
So she doesn't really like racing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, you never know. I mean, there's no guarantees.
I think I know the answer to this, but I've got it written down. I have to ask it. Is there one person you couldn't do racing without?
Probably my bride over here. She's she's been to every one of them with me.
Yeah.
So, well, actually, I take that back. You haven't been to every one, but most of them. I think maybe one or two. Just on a wild hair. I wasn't even planning on going, and my buddy Bud, he's like, I'll take you.
Yeah.
Load it up and go. But yeah, probably Charity. She's the reason I'm able to do it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, we talk about it a lot, about how important it is, I think, not only for the racers, but for the family when the wife is involved.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, it's okay with everybody, and it's a team deal, and, you know, they're in on the decisions. And
probably wouldn't be as much fun if she didn't like it.
Yeah.
You know, so.
You got a good one.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah, it's no fun if you can't go home and brag to somebody.
Right.
You may have answered this. You've talked about Justin quite a bit. Or, Justin.
Jason?
Jason.
Yeah.
When you started, did you have either a local or a national hero, racing hero that you kind of liked to watch or thought a lot of?
And I'll be honest with you, I never really did. I did some dirt race. I worked at Salina High Banks when I was like 13, 14, and I always wanted to do it, you know, but I just knew, you know, hell, I had 5 sisters growing up, and that wasn't going to happen. And there really wasn't a track around. I mean, me and my buddies were always running around doing dumb stuff, you know. I mean, if I had to be over, I probably would have tried to get the track more, but I never really had nobody at the dirt tracks, you know. And, but no, you know, I watched NASCAR quite a bit back in the day. You know, Dale Earnhardt was fun to watch, man.
Yeah.
He didn't care. He'd move you. But anywho, I'd say him, and you know, but not really. But I really haven't. Really.
Yeah. Well,
you know.
You mentioned down there in Oklahoma, Salina High Banks. You got a connection down there?
Yeah, so my mom and dad I'm originally from Pryor, which is the next
really?
town from where Salina High Banks is, and my mom and dad, you know, they split up when I was 5, and Dad was a carpenter by trade, and he moved to Kansas City. Well, we ended up in Lewisburg down there because it was closer down south, you know, so we could get back and forth to Oklahoma, because all our family lived down there, and when I'd go down there in the summer, I'd go because my uncle raced, you know, he raced modifieds and stuff, and then my cousin got into the sprint cars. He raced at Port City, then Will Rogers Raceway was
Claremore.
And so we was spending a lot of time there.
where's Podunk from Pryor? We had a guy I used to work with.
Podunk, Oklahoma.
Was from Podunk, Oklahoma.
Is that a real place?
Yeah, Podunk.
I don't know if I heard of it, but
It's down there by Timbuktu.
Timbuktu,
no
that's not too
doubt.
far. Yeah, right.
That's funny.
That figures.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work. I don't really this year. I've been pretty much on my own, you know, besides some phone calls here and there. But it sure would be nice to have somebody just be like, "Hey, man, go do this," or help me with that. Can you help me with that? But everybody's busy, and I get it, you know. And we live so far; it's hard to get to. That Bud and I, we probably do a lot more together but his shop's 35 minutes from my house. And there was two years in a row I went there every day after work, and I wouldn't get home till 11 o'clock at night. So it's.
So you work on your race car basically by yourself?
Yeah, pretty much. Right now, unless if something crazy happened where I had to have some help, I'm sure I could call somebody, but. If we can keep it on a maintenance program for now, I think I can handle it. But I've got it kind of dialed in where Mondays are cleanup days and Tuesdays are tire days, and
I'll tell you what, Brandon, you're going to do well because you got just the right mindset and attitude for it.
Well, I appreciate it. Yeah, we're trying, man. It's a lot of fun. It's addictive.
Yeah, is it ever?
Man, it's probably one of the most addictive hobbies I've ever been a part of. But I guess there's worse ones out there, right? At least I ain't sitting on a bar stool somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, believe it or not, I have seen a lot of divorces from these right here.
Right. I believe it. I've heard it.
And they're a lot less expensive. It's
I don't think I'd let it get that far. If it did, if that got in the way, then I'd probably have to pull the trigger on it and just go do something else.
But you know, I've seen the same thing with big cars. Like you say, I think it's just an addictive thing that there are some personalities that can't handle the temptation or whatever.
right.
And of course, one of my things is talking about running points. And we've said this, Greg, how many times in the last few weeks about you always buying something you don't need because you think you have to have it.
Yeah.
And that kind of stuff usually gets you in real trouble.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My thing is Jason. I keep saying Jason. It's weird to say Jason because everybody knows him as Jason Estes, but he's Speedway to me. All the guys at work, we've called him Speed or Speedway ever since I've known him. It's just what we nicknamed. Everybody at work's got nicknames, right? So, but he was always racing. So, but he told me, he's like, everything when you race for points hurts twice as hard, man. Like if you bend something or you break something or something goes wrong, it hurts that much more when you're trying to race for points. So it takes a lot of fun out of it. It could, you know, but I just trying to go have fun, and then when somebody's faster than me, I just try to do my best to make myself faster. You know, I mean, it's on me. So,
well, there's too many variables.
You know,
in racing that you never know. Of course, one of the biggest ones is the track.
Yeah, my biggest problem is overdriving.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
overdriving the car. That's about the worst thing you can do, really. I mean,
now, can you explain to me a little bit more about what overdriving is? Maybe some fans out there don't know exactly what we're talking about.
Just pushing the car too hard. You know, trying to
Inconsistent.
Not being consistent. Just like Cody said earlier about consistency, that's that's key.
Yeah.
And that's why I talk about smashing laps. You get consistent, start just getting in a rhythm, you know, running, and then a caution comes out. You got to start all over.
Start all over again, back to zero. Yeah. I know. Even racing these cars, there's so many times guys, they can't wait for the guy to hang up the sheet, see what the lap times are.
Right.
And they act like if they run one really fast lap, they've really accomplished something. And I'm thinking, well, let me think now. That feature was 50 laps.
Yeah.
One lap.
Yeah, you gotta put it. You gotta be consistent.
Yeah, there's 49 other laps there that you've got to do something good.
I know, right?
And it's hard to not think of it that way. And the other thing, I don't know about you, but let me ask you this. Do you race the track or do you race the competition? Or both?
I'd say probably the track. If the competition's there, I got to figure out how to get around them, you know? I mean, but just knowing where my car will run on the track and be fast and, you know, just putting it there and just going, you know? I don't know, man. I'm still learning.
Yeah,
you know, it's still new to me. I mean, you'll never stop learning. But
no, I don't think so either. There's always, I mean, just the technology alone.
It's crazy. Like, I can sit here and think about the races I've been in, and I can't really remember one. It's like, man, did I do that? You know, I mean, and after you come off the track, you're like, damn, you know. I'm like, what happened? You know, it happens.
Do you video his races, Charity?
She does.
You do. So you do have something to go
Helps
back.
me a lot. I study. But when I ain't got nothing to do, I sit there and just study.
Yeah.
And you can really see. I stuck a GoPro in my car for the first time this year, which Chris always told me that's bad luck. But I did it, and man, I could tell you, wow. I was like, I messed up here. I messed up there. I'm messing up here. Slow down just a little bit here. That's where I was like, man, I'm way overdriving the car.
Yeah.
There's a lot of competition in racing.
I think the faster the car is more the tendency to overdrive it.
Yeah.
Because all I can tell you is it's a feeling that I have when I'm running that open sprinter that I don't have when I'm running that.
Right. Yeah.
Because it is so much faster, you want to throw it in the corner harder
Yeah.
and see
Faster
what it'll
you
do.
go, the more it does that.
That's right.
Where you can't do that with this,
Right.
it just pushes, you know. But anyway, Brandon, I appreciate you guys coming up.
Oh, yeah.
It's a real pleasure to have you on the
Yeah, I
show.
appreciate
and
it.
appreciate you guys driving up here.
Yeah, no worries.
It always makes me feel good when people want to come be on the show.
No, we appreciate what you do. Like I said, my mom, she watches you guys whenever the track ain't live and
Yeah.
you're there, and so that gives her a viewing. You know, that way when she's in Oklahoma, she can watch.
Oh, that's right.
and friends and stuff. We appreciate you guys out there.
Hey,
Like you
Mom
said-
in Oklahoma, I presume you're watching.
I'll tell you what, you were right about. I think it's John Lee, right? With High Flying, man. His
Yeah.
photos. We were on our way up, and she pulled them up from last weekend. They're pretty good.
Oh, they are.
He's been doing it a long
Yeah,
time. He knows where
yeah.
to point the camera.
Yeah, they look
Sure.
really good. So
What gets me is, and I've done a little of it, very little, but it seems like unless he's doing some touch-up, Greg, those cars are always centered up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
can see the whole car.
they pop too.
Yeah, you can read the numbers. I mean, you can almost count the lug nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
just fantastic stuff. Of course, he's had numerous magazines and
Oh yeah.
whatever that he's had pictures in.
He's the
But,
man.
Anyway, Brandon, appreciate you guys coming up and spending some time with us tonight, and also for changing nights. I hope we didn't
Oh, yeah, no
throw you
worries.
off on that or anything.
Nah,
But
we're good to go.
thinking about leaving town and thought, you know what? Cody couldn't make it on Thursday, so
There you go.
this works good. Let's do it on Wednesday.
Yeah, no worries.
We had a good show.
It's just nut and bolt night tonight.
Bolt night. Use a torque wrench on all of them.
No, I just usually go through everything, man. It's funny. I've gotten to where I just keep a nice, decent crescent wrench in my pocket, and if it's everything I got, I'll start on the top
Yeah,
and then get on a creeper and work my way under it,
I'll be darned.
just to make sure nothing's changed.
Yeah, that's
But,
that's about all I do here. I just make sure they're all tight and there's oil in the shocks.
yeah,
If they're running right.
yeah,
If it's running right, man, I don't want to touch nothing.
I hear
Just check
you.
stuff.
Yeah, I
Like you
hear
say, just a little
got to
maintenance.
keep it simple.
Yeah, absolutely. But anyway, thanks for coming up and sitting in
Appreciate
with
it.
us, man. It's
Yeah.
been a pleasure.
Thank you,
Uh,
guys.
Nice to meet you,
You
Brandon.
seem
Yeah, I appreciate
like
you
a
guys.
very happy person.
Yeah, we try. I mean, we're waking up every day, so I guess.
Smile on your face. I mean,
Yeah.
these pictures of you in the victory lane are always kind of neat. Of course, you're 5 or 6 inches taller than everybody,
Yeah.
You
usually.
can pick him out.
Those,
Yeah.
those are pretty hard to beat. That's a pretty special moment.
Yeah.
My
abs-
daughters come, and
Yeah,
it's a family deal, so it's pretty cool.
yeah, absolutely.
So
Greg, you got anything you want to sum up here tonight?
Oh, it's been a great show. I liked having the mix. I mean, Cody is open wheel and can't get much more of a door slammer than a door slammer.
fender cars.
Fender cars, yeah.
Yeah, you can lean on each other a little bit more. Who
Yeah,
knows?
no
Good
kidding.
mix.
Absolutely.
Like I said, Brandon's a good interview. He's a good talker.
Yeah, absolutely. I noticed
Sounds
that.
like a NASCAR guy. You watched enough
No.
NASCAR. You
No, I actually haven't watched that in a long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I just like to visit.
When he was leading last Friday, I thought, well, he was a good interview when I interviewed him there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
He wins, I'm going to get him on the show.
Well, thank you.
But you just stayed right out there. Usually when it works out like that, they get out in the lead, and then all of a sudden you start seeing some smoke or
Oh man.
something happens, and
What I liked about Brandon and what we saw tonight, he likes a lot of different kind of toys.
yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
and me both.
I get bored pretty quick. Dang it.
I finally got a boat at my age. Yeah, I'm enjoying that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would have
it's
enjoyed it a heck of a lot more younger, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun.
Been more to do when you were younger. You probably just ride around in it now. You wouldn't ski or anything, would you?
No, I would not.
Boat's about like a race car.
It's as much work almost.
They say boat stands for bust out another 1,000.
Yeah, you can do that.
You can do that, yeah. Boats, motorhomes, let's see what else goes into that.
Right.
category.
Yeah, anything fun.
Yeah, anything fun.
Oh, well, I guess my closing remark is if you're an older race car driver, make sure you take your buddies with you and get educated trying to put the boat on the trailer.
Right. I know,
Look
right?
like a bunch of race car drivers.
Oh man, that used to be fun at the boat ramp.
Scrambling.
Oh, you
Oh,
can
I've
take
seen-
a lawn chair and a cooler there.
Oh,
Now. Have a show all day.
I have seen
Between
some
husbands and
crazy
wives.
stuff there.
I've helped a lot of people. She's like, all right, come on, we gotta go.
It's a fun place to be.
Yeah.
But anyway, I might tell you folks that going to be taking this weekend off. Not decided, Greg, I'm not going anywhere. Just going to take the weekend off, and then the show next Thursday, if it happens, is going to be something a little bit different. I thought maybe we might have a little audience quiz next week. Me and Mary will be out of town somewhere, and I'm thinking about making up a local racing quiz, and people can put in their answers, and we'll see what they come out. Something like we talked about a while ago, who built Valley Speedway.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would enjoy something like that.
And we may be sitting on the bank of the river down there. I may even have a line
Dang it.
in there, and we'll be asking questions about racing. But I think that's going to be it for next week. Like I say, no video this weekend, folks, so don't be looking for Cheeseworks to be in place. We're going to take a
All right.
weekend off. Mary's still not getting around too good, and I hate to ask her to go into some of the grandstands and stuff because she's
Oh,
hurt
yeah,
with
you
that
gotta
knee.
take care of her.
Yeah.
It's just a little tough. I think she's going to have fun even on this vacation, being able to do a lot. But we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's what's going to be. Like I say, no video this weekend. Possibly a show next weekend, but it's only going to be an audience quiz. Greg, I'm counting on you for answers because I know you know all this stuff.
I don't know. Know the stuff I care to remember.
You remember a lot. For me, bring up stuff I don't know anything about. But anyway, folks, as usual, we're going to say, if you enjoyed the show, I'll tell you what, hey, call a friend, start a watch party, tell somebody, let them know what we're doing here. We're just having a good time talking about racing and trying to get as many people here that we can that are involved in racing and, learn something about them. I mean, I learned something about Brandon, lives in forgot it.
Not Podunk.
Lewisburg.
Not Podunk, not Podunk, Lewisburg.
We live south of there now, but
Yeah.
that's hometown.
And Cody, just a nice kid.
Yep.
Some of those sprint car guys, it seems like to me as people escalate in racing, the head gets
Yeah.
a little bit bigger, and pretty soon you might as well not even bother talking to him. Sorry about that. But anyway, if you didn't like the show, that's okay too, because we know we probably didn't have your favorite driver, your favorite track, or your favorite person or whatever on. But the only thing I can do about that is just check back in a week or so and see who we got on. And if it's somebody you like, why, come join with us, because I guarantee you we'll have a good time and laugh a little bit. But I think that's going to do it for tonight. On behalf of Greg Clemens and Brandon Rice and Cody Baker, I'll say good night.
And he's Mike Kraft.
Good night.
Good night. Hey, Mike, these headers are fake on here.
Yeah. You just now noticed that?
Those are stickers. These are.
Yeah, that one's got real headers.
Yeah, I just have to watch. I don't need it.
You watch anything he does.
That's why
won't
she.
you?
That's why she videos so it
Yeah.
takes her.